We begin tonight with a new report from the 12 News I-Team taking a deep dive into the safety of dating apps. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us. For 12 News at 10, I'm Kariba Devine.
I'm Mark Curtis. Millions of people around the world go looking for love online, but not everyone finds a fairy tale ending.
The I-Team's Erica Stapleton found some research that suggests nearly a third of people who meet in person from a dating app encounter some form of violence.
This all started with a series we first reported over the summer called He Made Me Do It, where a match on a dating app went horribly wrong for Helen Simmons. And after reviewing the terms of use for several popular dating apps, I learned that safety is not guaranteed while swiping. What started as a swipe on a dating app.
It was all manipulation. There was no relationship.
Quickly landed Helen Simmons behind bars.
I was just so scared, and I just wanted to go home, but he wouldn't let me.
She was 18 when she moved to Phoenix in summer 2022 and said within a day or two, she met 22-year-old Matthew Jones on the dating app Tinder. Helen told us and investigators that she went over to his apartment willingly at first, but then said Jones wouldn't let her go. In the 2 weeks that followed, she said Jones abused her and threatened her if she didn't do what he said. Then she said he forced her into a violent jewelry store robbery. They were both arrested and later sent to prison.
I'm sorry. Oh my God.
Despite Helen's allegations of abuse.
Which made him have enough control over me to make me do something like that.
The I-Team learned that Jones has a history of hurting women, with prior convictions in California and Arizona. In fact, Jones had just gotten out of prison about 2 weeks before Helen said they met. Records show that conviction was for unlawful imprisonment and aggravated assault involving another woman he met online. Tinder's terms of use state that felons are prohibited from creating accounts, but that the company doesn't do any criminal background checks, and that Tinder is not responsible for the conduct of any member on or off the service. The same term's true for many popular dating apps. Earlier this year, a rep for Tinder said they didn't have a record of Matthew Jones or Helen Simmons. The rep did not answer any of our other questions, including how they keep felons from signing up.
I mean, it's definitely easy for bad actors to access dating apps. Usually it's just a first name and a phone number or an email address to create an account with no sort of security, safety screening, identity verification prior to that.
Catherine Kosmides is the CEO of Garbo, a company that used to partner with Tinder to help users with background checks.
And we definitely have seen individuals using dating apps as a way to find victims in a much easier fashion.
Certainly, this isn't everyone's experience on dating apps, but there is limited public data tracking violent outcomes. Researchers with the Australian Institute of Criminology found that nearly a third of people they surveyed reported violence at an in-person meeting after matching online. ProPublica published a similar stat in 2019, finding that 31% of women surveyed reported being sexually assaulted or raped by someone they had met through an online dating site. Kosmides said she ultimately ended the partnership with Tinder and stopped their background check service, in part due to challenges with the app platforms, but also with background checks in general.
How challenging is it to actually get a full record on a person?
I would say probably nearly impossible.
Access to public records varies state by state, county by county, some places redacting important information, and it may cost you.
Here in New York, where I live, it can be $95 to run a single background check on someone. And that's $95 before I ever go on a first date or a first meeting with someone. And so it's really expensive data.
A rep for Match Group, Tinder's parent company, said in part that Tinder has a new partner to help with background checks in the United States called BrightCheck, and that Match Group uses other technology to help flag profiles with harmful images and language. The bottom line, even if someone comes up clean.
Just because someone doesn't have a record doesn't mean they're safe.
Which is why Garbo, dating apps, and other services lay out best practices, like having your own transportation, not sharing personal information, recognizing your boundaries, and taking things at your own pace.
So dating apps are very common, and I'm not saying they're a bad thing.
Matthew Jones is not facing charges on any of Helen's allegations and told investigators that everything was consensual. She's still processing what she went through, a hard new perspective from prison.
They can pretend to be somebody they're not, and that's what happens with me. I hope that people can just be more careful, men and women, because it can happen to anybody.
The I-Team is still investigating violence in dating apps. If you have an experience to share, we hope you'll take our dating app safety survey. You can find it right now by scanning the QR code on your screen. You can fill it out anonymously with an option to leave contact information if you want me to follow up with you. In the newsroom, Erica Stapleton, 12 News.
Erica, thanks. New at 10, we're hearing from the mother of a 15-year-old boy who was stabbed to death at a park in Ahwatukee. Phoenix police say it happened early in the morning on November 16th. Jalen Reeves stabbed to death by another teenager. Investigators have identified that person, but so far have not been arrested or named as a suspect. Jalen's mother says she's still processing what happened and is calling on anyone with information to come forward.
This happened, before the holidays. We forgot tomorrow's Thanksgiving. It's not the same without Jalen. We just want anybody who knows anything, anybody who is involved, just to tell the truth. We need to know. I feel like we deserve to know what happened to our son.
We're staying in contact with Phoenix Police for the latest information. We will definitely keep you updated as we learn more.
Developing news that we're following tonight. An 8-year-old boy is in extremely critical condition at the hospital after he was crushed by a statue at a Valley hotel. It happened this morning at the Arizona Biltmore Resort, and officials are still working to figure out exactly what went so terribly wrong. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono is joining us live outside the hotel. And Bianca, what can you tell us?
Well, Caribe, in the last update we got from Phoenix Police in the past hour or so, we're told that child is still in extremely critical condition, and they're investigating this as an accidental injury. But the big question tonight remains, how did that accident happen?
Central Call Crisis Response 5.
The call to the Phoenix Fire Department came in just before 9 o'clock Wednesday morning.
Pediatric code.
A child was seriously hurt at the Arizona Biltmore Resort.
Crews arrived on the scene and found a 8-year-old male with a head injury.
Phoenix Fire Captain Todd Keller says the 8-year-old boy was crushed by this statue. Sky 12 flying over the traumatic scene after the child was rushed to the hospital.
The child is in extremely critical condition. It was a little bit of a chaotic scene when they got in, but these firefighters managed the scene, they managed the incident, got the patient to the hospital.
The statue was near the entrance to the hotel, similar to several others seen all over the property. They're heavy and called Sprite Garden sculptures, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. A spokesperson for the Arizona Biltmore releasing a statement saying, "Our top priority is the safety of our guests, and our thoughts are with the family impacted by today's events." As the hotel now works with the Phoenix Police Department to investigate how this happened one day before Thanksgiving, that child now fights for his life.
Anytime, an incident with anybody, a child, a loved one like this impacts everyone.
And we know that officials were working to obtain surveillance camera footage from this property to better understand exactly what happened. We're live in Phoenix tonight. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
All right, Bianca, thanks. We have a story tonight that we first brought to you as breaking news last night at 10, when a pursuit ended with a crash in the East Valley. DPS says a trooper was trying to pull someone over for speeding. The driver tried to get away, even firing shots at the trooper's vehicle. When the suspect got off the freeway at Williamsfield Road, he was going too fast and crashed into 3 other cars. 22-year-old Christopher Mendez was taken into custody with minor injuries. Thankfully, no one else was hurt.
The Thanksgiving travel rush is in full effect, and with folks rushing to make it to their families for the holiday season. Now, the TSA projected it would screen 2.9 million passengers today, but Sunday is expected to be the busiest of the weekend with more than 3 million estimated travelers. We want to show you a live look right now. This is from Sky Harbor Airport tonight, where folks are either getting into the valley a little bit late, or maybe they're just headed to the airport to catch a red eye. to head somewhere else. But either way, we are seeing a lot of brake lights there, and it looks like quite the backup in the line there.
By the way, those pictures courtesy of our turkey tracker. Now to your weather impact forecast with meteorologist Crystal Long. Let's talk Turkey Day weather. What do you think for tomorrow?
Oh man, we're just going to be spoiled rotten. Your forecast is as sweet as pumpkin pie, as you can see. Now, if you're getting up early for those turkey trots, it's a little chilly. But even then, these numbers are technically warm for the norm. Usually we wake up to 49 degrees this time of year, so not too bad. And we usually max out at 71, but we're going to be overachieving with that beautiful sunshine tomorrow as you're zipping through the valley, heading to your dinner, wherever you got to be for your Thanksgiving dinner, or maybe you're going shopping or checking out the lights. It's going to be one of those windows down, roof open kind of situations here with weather this nice. We're going to max out at 76 in the valley, but we'll do 58 in Rim Country, 50 in the White Mountains, and mid-40s in northern Arizona with a mixture of sun and clouds. If you're thinking about putting up the Christmas lights tomorrow, Friday, or Saturday, you're getting the green light to do so. We have great weather, and hour by hour in the evening tomorrow, if you're going to check out those holiday lights a little early, of course, we got zoo lights going on in the valley. Temperatures mainly in the 60s, but in the mountains, you know you got to layer up. We're dipping into the 20s by 8 o'clock.
All right, Crystal, thank you. Still ahead.